Scroll and Soar, welcome back. We just read 23 through 25 of the book of 1 Samuel. Are you enjoying it thus far? I want to look at chapter 23, verses 1 through 12. You know, David, he's not on his throne yet. He's running from Saul at this point in the narrative. He's hiding, he's moving and surviving and leading men in the wilderness. But when Abiathar joins David with the ephod, something powerful happens. David may not have a palace, but he has access to what? The voice of God. And this is the surprising detail of today. God's guidance moves with the rejected king. And in 1 Samuel 23, David hears that the Philistines are attacking Keilah. But before he moves, he inquires of the Lord. David does not let the urgency become his God. We do this all the time. It's just like, oh my gosh, pastor, something's happening, and we start worshiping the urgency of the situation. David didn't let that happen because even a good cause still needs God's direction. That's why when we're in moments of panic and urgency, we need to pause and seek the Lord. Don't let the need outrun obedience, because even if we just start running and doing what we know to do, instead we could have just asked the Lord and he could have told us exactly what to do. And Abiathar, the priest, comes to David with the ephod, the priestly instrument connected with seeking God's will. And David's camp looks like exile, but God's placed worship, priesthood, and guidance in the wilderness with him. God can guide you outside of the palace. God can guide you in the middle of the wilderness. God can guide you wherever you find yourself. David in the Psalms actually says something like, where can I go that the Lord will not find me? Even if I went to the pits of Sheol, even if I went to hell, the Lord could find me there. Trimper Logman notes that David functioned like a nation in exile, with an army, a prophet, and a priest in attendance. The rightful king is not proven by who controls the institution, but by where the presence and the word of God are honored. Presence matters far more than position. I know you might not be where you want to be or where you thought you would be yet, but wherever you're at, if you seek and inquire of the presence of the Lord, that matters far more than where you think you ought to be. Our culture treats leadership like speed and vision and confidence, but rarely like submission. And if you can make decisions without asking God, you may be leading fast while walking blind. Speed is not discernment at all. And David asked God whether he should go to Keilah, then ask again when his men are afraid. Real spiritual leadership is not offended by uncertainty. It brings uncertainty back before God. Ask again before you act rashly, before you make that decision. Ask again about that financial choice. Ask again about the person that you're dating. Ask again about your calling before you act rashly. And the ephod in this story is not this magical relic like in some fantasy novel, because God remained free to answer, to withhold, or direct as he pleased. There was no genie in a bottle, 3 wishes, my command. No, God was still God, and God's guidance is not a tool that you control. It is a relationship that you submit to. God is not your genie. He is not your decision machine. And David, he later asks if Saul will come and if Keilah will surrender to him. And God tells him the painful truth. Like, divine guidance does not always tell you what you want to hear, but it tells you what you need to obey. The truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. You know what I'm saying? The truth may hurt, but it still saves. And we live in a decision-making world right now, addicted to vibes, addicted to analytics and polls and aura and fear and personal space. But David teaches us that the best leaders do not merely read the room, they seek the Lord. Like, they don't trade revelation for the reaction of men. And David did not have the throne yet, but he had something better than the throne. He had access to the guidance of God. The wilderness did not silence God. The pressure did not excuse impulse. So before you move, ask. And before you react, listen. And before you call it wisdom, make sure it has passed through the act of surrender. Love y'all. See you in the discussion room.